for the real method of reaching enlightenment and liberation in one lifetime, you have to see the light. You have to hear the Buddha's teaching. They call it the currents from the higher dimension, which is in your body also. But you have to reconnect it with the universal high dimension power, okay? If not, then you can sit forever like the student of that Zen master who keep sitting there. And the teacher went and show him that polishing the bricks cannot make them into a mirror. So whatever you want to practice, just continue with the Kuan Yin meditation, which is the direct connection with the universal power, with Buddha's land in all directions, with God's heavenly abode. And do not feel proud of that either, okay? If you improve yourself each day, become more and more enlightened, then be happy, be grateful. Thank God, thank all the masters and the Buddhas that bless you and help you to have that meditation shortcut in your life, their blessing to protect you, and that you can also practice and bless yourself and bless the world to some degree at the same time. Just always be grateful, be humble, okay? That's the way, yeah? You must have a teacher to teach you the right method, and you must correctly, diligently practice. That's all. Anything else, it's just secondary. Whatever you wear is okay. You don't wear, okay. Just don't show it in some countries in the public. India is different, okay? They will recognize the practitioners, not like anybody just can strip off and then go walking bloom on the street. The police will come and respectfully bring you somewhere. You know where, right? The same like in many Western countries, they won't allow that, okay? India is different. Please. So whatever you wear or not wear has nothing to do with your enlightenment. How many times you eat has nothing to do with your enlightenment. Continue to practice this enlightenment method. That's important, all right? And don't boast about it. That's why mostly I tell people not to tell their experiences to outsiders or family members even. Just sometimes now and then you write them in a hotline where you can't bear to keep it once a while, okay. But not every day, or often go out boasting to people, oh, I reached that enlightenment spiritual realm, I saw that, I saw this. That's why I tell you not to. Keep them to yourself, okay? I also keep them to myself, many of them. Many. Just if sometimes really necessary, when I mention some. Otherwise, it's better to keep it quiet so that your ego won't be puffed up by others. And they mistakenly think that you have reached Buddhahood or you're the highest master in the world. And then they praise you, they make your ego puffed up, and then you're doomed, you're finished. That is one thing. Another thing is that other people might think you are lying, or they might be jealous of you, and they will try to harm you in many ways. That's why the faith of the masters, the real master, is really very, very thin. See? If Lord Jesus didn't come out and teach people in the public, then he wouldn't have had to die on the cross. If the Buddha had not made himself be a master in the public out of compassion, he wouldn't have been harmed so many times, lost his toe or been hungry for 3 months at one time like that. And many other masters, you name them, you read their history, they suffer no end, been poisoned, fly alive, hanged, chopped, all kinds of things that happened to any master before, just because of compassion. They came out and taught the public. That's why they have to bear all these consequences, suffering so much. That's why keep it to yourself, okay? Yes. All right. If you have wisdom like the Buddha, then you are Buddha. If you have power like the Buddha and can liberate other beings, then you are Buddha. Otherwise, no matter what you do, you are not a Buddha. Remember that. In case I won't be around anymore to remind you, please remember, okay? Be humble, be quiet, practice diligently. And some of you want to be monks in our group again. I have told you for a long time already that we don't accept any more monks or nuns. There's no need. You just have that noble ideal and aspiration in your head and continue to live in the world and try to spread the truth. Try to encourage people to live a virtuous, compassionate life. That would be monkhood already. Even if you stay in the monk community and you don't do anything helpful to the world, to uplift people's spirit and help them to find liberation, then you're no monk at all. The robe doesn't make you a monk, okay? And just in case you don't know, we had more than 500 monks before in my ashram. And then slowly, the numbers decreased because maybe not suitable to some. And the most unsuitable is they have some gender issue. It's not because you are gay or you are a lesbian, you can't practice spiritually. It's not like that. It's just that in the monk community, we live very close together, you know. In my case, we have one mountain for the monks and the other mountain for me and the nuns. It was like that. But still, within the nuns community, there was trouble, you know, it happened. Some issues arose, so then later we had to separate. The real monks and nuns, they stay, and the rest continue to practice at home. Because if the lesbian and nuns, at that time we even had to sleep like two people in one tent sometimes. Yes, then it's not very convenient. That's why if you want to know one of the precepts, the rule in the Buddhist monkhood is that they ask you whether or not you are, for example, a homosexual. Yes. Because if you are, then you can't join this monk order under the Buddha's time and guidance. And nowadays, in modern times, it's still the same. They still have that precept. Not because the Buddha was discriminating, but, you know, the situation is not convenient. If a man, like a homosexual, sleeps together with other monks who are normal, a man, then it might be trouble. That's all there is. Yeah, so in case you think of becoming monks and nuns in my group, we don't need any more. Number two, if you want to be monk outside in another community of Buddhism, please think twice and check yourself. It's because sometimes it's not like the monks or the nuns lying about their gender or anything. It's just sometimes they don't know in advance until they came in and then things happen. So you have to check well, okay? Yeah, check yourself well. Don't point fingers at anybody else. First, point a finger at yourself to check everything about you, not to check anybody else, okay?